All right, it's a super busy day today here in the food shed, and I couldn't find any places to record where I wouldn't be interrupted. So I locked myself in the merch room. Now, what that means is, I don't know if you know that we have tanks or not. Can't beat Ohio food. Love a good food pun. Anyways, all that is surrounding me. These would be great gifts. Also, so soft. So, treat yourself. This week, I thought what I'd dive into for the topic was what I would call the anatomy of the food box. And so, we've got a certain amount of items each week that we're able to, depending on how much they cost, put in each size of the box: the mini, the base, and the full. So we're constantly working with our growers to try to schedule what that's going to look like on any given week. And I thought I'd just give you the categories that we shoot for. So number one is lettuce. We always try to have a lettuce if we can. There's certain times of year when it's really hot out that it's not easy to grow lettuce, but that being said, pretty much we have enough good growers and enough good varieties that we can, supply. We've probably been through 25 varieties of lettuce this year. Then we add in a cooking green, which is chard, kale, broccoli leaves, spinach, and braising greens like mustard greens. Those are the kind of things that you can eat raw. You can add it into a salad, but they also generally can take heat because they are sturdy. And so I cook a lot of greens, but the joke is if you start with this much spinach, after it's cooked, you get this much to eat. So we try to include at least one, if not two, varieties of that each week. The next category would be then the Asian greens. So we've got Bradwood Farms, who grows almost all of our Asian greens. That's the bok choy, the pak choy, the rosy, that is the Carlton, and so we try and create one of those because of how much soup and ramen and those kind of things that we generally find that our members are eating. So that can kind of go in anything. Then from there, we usually try to have at least one fruit. Obviously, sometimes during the spring and summer, we've got multiple fruit items. Right now, apples is going to be our go-to. Asian pears, we should have a little bit of. And that's just because we're in a tough time of year for fruit. But, we'll have endless varieties of apples going throughout the winter. And then the last half of the box, you might call it, we try to it's the hot seasonal items. So right now is fall. We're starting to have sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. We have multiple varieties of potatoes, Redskins and Yukons and all that kind of stuff. We've got radishes right now. We've got cabbages right now. We've got broccoli, cauliflower. All of those are like this time of year, those are the items to have. Obviously, every time of year is different. And so as we move into the winter months, that will change. Into the spring months, that will change, etc., and on and on. But we try to leave that half of the box for those hot seasonal items. That is what, when tomatoes are on, you're going to get tomatoes. The last thing we want is for in August you to have to go to the store to buy tomatoes when they are readily and, in our opinion, the best flavor that you could have right in your own backyard. So that's kind of the anatomy of the box. That's what we're thinking about as we go through each week. And there's obviously little areas to play with here and there. And as we go into the winter, we start to include a lot of, or at least not a lot, at least one item a week that is what I would call a non-produce item. So that could be like a jarred item, a pickled item, a grain. It could be a puffed cereal. It could be anything along those lines. Some of our funnest boxes historically have been in the winter because we have a little bit of a freedom to kind of create some fun meal type boxes. So I say that to then lead us into the next thing. We are and have been doing an experiment with what we call the second chance mystery box. Now, the second chance mystery box is every Monday when we come in, we still have food left over from the week before that is just the tail end of whatever we ordered for that week prior. It's still perfectly good, but it's not fresh enough that we're going to put it in the newest boxes that we pack that week. So we've been selling the second chance mystery box. Now that is just a bumper crop box. It's like day old donuts. It could be anything. But we come in and we look at everything we have and then we just pack it full. So if you're looking for just a box of produce, you might be a juicer or a preserver or plant-based and you just need piles of veg and fruit. This is going to be that. It's $15. It's not that big of a risk. Everything's in decent shape, if not perfect, and it's going to come out to you. So we've had good success with it with the small group that we launched it with. Now we're opening it up to everybody. So I'll put a link in the newsletter for that. Lastly, we are going to be selling this week a product that is going to be made fresh next Monday. So it's going to be from Chef Meagan's food truck, and it's going to be her fresh salsa that she makes. It's like restaurant style. It's so good, and also a veggie soup. So there will be that will be up. I'll set you the links for that, and then you'll be able to pre-order that. It will come to you packaged just like a soup comes in a Tupperware kind of a deal to go with a lid on it. Same with the salsa. So this is all of our ingredients. We're going to use everything Yellowbird to make it happen, and it's going to be super yummy. But we've never done it like this before, so it's kind of an experiment, which we're good at. We've done lots of those up until now, and sometimes we win with them, and sometimes they're just like, man. But I think this is going to be a cool thing because I think what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to then see what she's going to make, pre-buy it, and if you want to buy a bunch of it to freeze for soup, that's what I'm going to do. And when she's doing vegetable soup to start with, and I'm going to buy plenty of that, trust me. What I'm waiting on, the jackpot, the honey hole of soup is that butternut squash soup. And when she does that, I don't know if there'll even be any available for you because I'm probably just going to say, cook the giant pot of it and then just freeze that for me. No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not that selfish. I'll leave you a bowl. But keep your eyes open for some of that kind of stuff. So that's the breakdown for the week. Did this video last week. Seemed to be well received. Did it again this week, and we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. Enjoy your box.